What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, are the Lakers interested in Nikola Vucevic, or is a Vuce trade dead before the NBA trade deadline? We got some conflicting reports on other teams trading for the Bulls center. Then on the tail half of today's show, Lonzo Ball. He's gaining a lot of interest from 6 NBA teams actually before the NBA trade deadline. So I'll get you guys the update on Lonzo on the second half of today's show. But before we dive into it, let's show some love to the kid from Chicago, Myles. Buzelis had his career high last night, 24 points on 10 of 10 shooting, and this picture was actually after my favorite move of the night from Myles. He had a little pickup dribble, went over the top of Nikola Vucevic. It was nasty, but we're really seeing the athleticism on full display. I mean, it was all dunks, threes, and layups for Myles last night. It was truly an ethical 24 points from the rookie out of Chicago, but I already think he's a plus defender already in the NBA, and already seeing him take huge strides offensively in his game, and I just can't wait to see what he's going to turn into, his max potential in the league. I really think it's limitless. I do think he's probably going to end up being a 3 or 4 in the NBA. I could see him running a little, better version of Aaron Gordon at the 4, very athletic. He's obviously going to need to put some weight on his frame, but, truly he is one of the, best building pieces for the Chicago Bulls, and I actually think he is completely untouchable. Like, the only player on this team that I would not even listen to any trade offers is Myles Buzelis. But speaking about the trade deadline, we actually are going to be going live about 3 hours before the trade deadline at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Turn on those notifications. Get notified when we go live. I'm actually be chopping it up with Harrison Grant, Bears Now host. So all the guys that watch both me and Harry cover your 2 favorite Chicago sports teams. Make sure you guys tune in. It's going to be a lot of fun. So hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. All right, is a Vuce trade dead here? So Casey Johnson during the Bulls game last night put out this interesting report saying Nikola Vucevic is prepared to stay with the Bulls now that Golden State is focused on Kevin Durant. Now, we have heard the Warriors are a big suitor for Nikola Vucevic, but it kind of seems now they're going to have a full-fledged attack on landing Kevin Durant. So does this mean a Vuce trade is dead? I am not sure. It's looking more and more unlikely that he will be traded for the Chicago Bulls, but we also got a new report from Mike Scotto before the report from Casey Johnson saying the Lakers are actually showing interest in Nikola Vucevic ahead of the NBA trade deadline. Obviously, LA has a huge need at the center position, and it makes sense for them to have some interest in Nikola Vucevic. But this is what Mike Scotto had to say, saying the Bulls have held out hope for a first-round pick for Vucevic, but may have to settle for multiple second-round picks if they move him ahead of the deadline in the eyes of NBA executives who spoke with HoopsHype. And, just a heads up to the Bulls front office, you are not going to get a first-round pick for Vuce. If this is what is holding up a trade, I think that is organizational malpractice. I think you should trade him for a second-round pick because even last night in the Heat game, Nesmith looked great in the first half. I would rather have the Bulls, ideally, my favorite lineup for me personally to watch is when you have Lonzo at the 1, Ayo at the 2, Kobe at the 3, and then Modest at the 4, and then Nesmith at the 5. I think that's the most fun lineup to watch for the Chicago Bulls. But, another big reason why I think the Bulls should just, cut bait with Vuce is I think him starting off the season shooting an incredibly high three-point percentage was kind of a tease. I don't think he is a 40+% three-point shooter so far in his NBA career, because in January we have already seen him fall off a cliff in terms of three-point shooting. 26.8% in January in 16 games played, when the previous 3 months he was above 40%. So I think he's kind of coming back to the mean here on his three-point shooting ability. But let's talk about Vuce here a little bit more in depth and why I do think the Bulls, if they are willing to move off Vuce, he will have suitors because this guy's a walking double-double. I have my gripes with him defensively. I think he's still one of the most overrated players in the NBA so far. But, there are multiple teams out there that could use a guy that's going to go out there and give you 19 and 10 on any given night, can spread the floor a little bit since his three-point percentage still on the season is 39.3. Maybe the Bulls could kind of bait some people into trading for Vuce. But if it's not the Lakers, there are 4 other teams out there that could need a center. Now, obviously, the Warriors get Kevin Durant. The Vuce trade to him heading to the Bay is dead. But also watch out for the San Antonio Spurs. I think the Spurs, I actually love the idea of a Vuce-Wemby front court because, like I was just saying, Vuce, one of the worst defenders in the NBA. But if you pair him up with Wemby, I think they would have a pretty solid yin and yang to their game. Then the Pelicans, they were reportedly interested in Vuce dating back to the summer. And then the Indiana Pacers here. So this is a 3-team trade idea Jason Timp of the volume throughout there, where it's a doozy. And he has the Lakers landing Aaron Nesmith and Myles Turner in this trade. First off, for LA, that would be a steal if they could somehow land Turner and Nesmith. I would actually honestly pick the Lakers to come out of the Western Conference as they're able to land both those guys. But then the Pacers would be getting Nikola Vucevic, Gabe, Vincent, and Dalton Knecht. And the Bulls would be getting a guy I'm a big fan of in Rui Hachimura, and then also Benedict Mathurin. I want to focus in here on Mathurin here for a second because, he is still only 22 years old, a very, young up-and-coming player in the NBA. He is an elite scorer and really one of my favorite players to watch in the league. He can score from all three levels. He is he is a problem with the basketball in his hands, and he can also play off ball at a very, very high level. And on the season, averages 16.5 points per game, 5.9 rebounds, 1.9 assists, shooting pretty efficient from the field as well. But his shot chart also for Benedict Mathurin even goes a step further. Like, he is great at the left corner shooting threes, which the Bulls obviously have a need for just true dead-eye shooters, and Benedict is that from the left corner, and also the right wing shooting 45% on the year at that spot. So listen, if this is the trade that goes down, I think this would be a home run trade for the Chicago Bulls. And if this is presented to you, you take this trade and run. The only team that I think could say no to this is the Indiana Pacers. But then again, you're also getting Dalton Knecht, Vincent, guard off the bench, and Vooch. I think the Lakers and Bulls should say yes to this deal. It will come down to the Pacers, but if this is a trade that goes down on trade deadline day, I would be absolutely thrilled about it. But you guys let me know, would you accept this deal from the Chicago Bulls perspective? Give me an A for accept or give me a D for decline. Now we'll dive into the Lonzo Ball reports here in a second, but first, got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. Now, if you guys download the PrizePicks app today, plug in that promo code CLNS, you guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. You heard that right, 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. They add more juice to any game you are watching, and plus, there's a pretty big game this Sunday. Eagles-Chiefs. This Sunday. It's going to be a doozy. I cannot wait to watch this matchup, and they actually have a free pick for you guys where one Patrick Mahomes passing yard gets you one win on PrizePicks. So add that to all your lineups this weekend. Trust me, you guys will regret it if you guys don't. So download the PrizePicks app today. Plug in promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the PrizePicks app today. Plug in promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. A massive shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, the new Lonzo Ball report coming in from Mike Scotto is he is saying multiple teams are showing interest in Lonzo Ball. Now, Lonzo, he had up and down game last night against the Heat, missed his first 5 threes, and he missed that dunk. I felt so bad for him because it was a great read. He stole the ball, got in transition, had a wide open dunk, and he just shanked it. Kind of felt bad for Lonzo on that front. But, hey, multiple teams are showing interest, and this is what Mike Scotto had to say. Bulls have received trade interest from several teams, including the Memphis Grizzlies, Detroit Pistons, Minnesota Timberwolves, and others. League sources told Hoops Hype some teams are monitoring whether Ball could hit the buyout market. Now, we also have interest on the Bulls front of re-signing Lonzo this offseason. Mark Stein also tweeted this out, saying the Bulls have received trade interest in Lonzo Ball all season, but sources tell Mark Stein that they have been not eager to trade him and are resistant to buying Ball out if he remains a Bull past Thursday's deadline. And I agree. If that's the thought process of the Bulls front office, I'm not moving off Lonzo Ball unless you're getting a 3 second-round picks or a first-round pick. I just think Lonzo, even though he's not shooting well from the field this year, he still makes winning plays over and over again. Like last night against the Heat, yeah, he struggled. He could not shoot the ball, but I still felt like he was a plus asset when he was out there on the basketball court. And, Lonzo, there is no doubt in my mind that Lonzo is a winning basketball player. And I also think he could be a solid building piece during this rebuilding process for the Chicago Bulls. Like, if he is your guard that you bring off the bench every given night for the next 5 years, I think that is a huge advantage for Chicago because you're going to have a lot of young guys in this organization. And you're going to want to develop them. And how do you help develop these younger cats? You get a guy like Lonzo who can get them easy shots in the flow of the offense. And Lonzo and Giddey, two of the best playmakers in the NBA so far this season. I would love the 1-2 tandem of Josh Giddey starting, Lonzo Ball off the bench. Lonzo obviously more defensive-minded, but they both have great size. Giddey being 6'8", Lonzo being 6'6", you would able to have a sense of physicality in your backcourt that the Bulls have not had for a very, 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 very long time. So, listen, Lonzo's a winning player. I'd want to keep him, but maybe you guys disagree with me. Let me know your thoughts on this. Would you trade Lonzo Ball for a second-round pick? Give me a T for trade or give me a P for pass down below in the comments section. And you guys can also hit me up on Twitter. That's a handle right there, @PatSeeps. Give me a follow over there. I'll give you guys a follow right back. But we'll see you guys next time. As always, go Bulls.